NWA Mountain State, the flagship of the National Wrestling Alliance, bringing you great wrestling action sanctioned by the NWA.
Oh my God! All-American knockout!
We go to a judge's decision. Judge's decision. Judge's decision.
You see Ron Sexton looking on Scotty. Measures in. Shooting star press. Parker, look out!
He's got one measure. Super kick again.
Ricky Shane misses though. Dozer catches him.
Tune in each week to see the greatest stars in independent wrestling along with your hosts, Stephen Hensley and Jacques Molière. NWA Mountain State is paid in part by Lewis Automotive in Beckley and LewisAutomotive.com, giving you the best deals on Suzuki, Nissan, and pre-owned cars. Kramer Security and Investigations, now hiring in all of southern West Virginia at kramersecurity.net. Mark A. Hunt and Associates, practicing law since 1994 and online at markahunt.com. The West Virginia Tobacco Quit Line. Get help to quit smoking now at westvirginiaquitline.com.
This is Commissioner Larry Light. If you'd like to see the great TV stars of NWA Mountain State Wrestling come to your town, give us a call at area code 304-673-2054 or check us out on the web.
You know, the Reaper ain't too happy right now. His knee is pretty much done. He better turn around and pay attention. The Stro is now standing. He's got him. The Stro has got the Reaper. He's got him in the submission. It's against the ropes. All right, the Reaper.
And the Reaper bails.
Yes, the Reaper bails outside of the ring.
But time is of the essence right here for the Stro.
He's got him again, but he's got him outside. Oh, against the steel post right there. That would definitely break the hold. Oh man, we got first class seats right up in here.
And the action
in West Virginia. 9 minutes elapsed. 1 minute remaining.
1 minute warning. Referee Patrick Nicholas has got to regain control of this matchup.
Come on, buddy. Tell everybody what's going on here, man.
It's just gruesome. Maestro's head has been banged and bammed right into the stage here at the Summers County Memorial Building.
Ring the bell. Ring the bell.
Ring the bell.
Stro is unconscious. He's out. The referee has called for the bell.
You can't continue. Stro can't continue.
The Maestro cannot continue.
Referee Patrick Nicholas just made the announcement that the Stro cannot continue this match. Therefore, still remaining NWA Mountain State Wrestling Junior Heavyweight.
Cut that music.
I could finish you off anytime I wanted. But I'm gonna wait until August 20th. You see this, Stro? You see it? That's a restraining order signed by Trowbridge himself. Till August 20th, you can't touch me. But news for you, buddy. I can do whatever I want to you. I'll see you on the 20th.
The doctors gave me clearance to wrestle despite what happened last week. It was pretty scary. Matt Connard, he's a dangerous man. He tried to take me out. He tried to put me out of commission. They say you can look to a soul of a person through their eyes. Well, Matt Connors is very, very, very dark. And all I can think about was it could have been over just like that for me. You know, I'm still a little woozy. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not 100%. And it may take a little bit to heal up, but all I can think about is all the friends, all the loved ones that I've lost over the years, that have left this world, from my fiance to my grandmother to my friends in this business, my brothers, the Eddie Guerreros, Chris Benoit's, Bam Bam Bigelow's, Randy Savage. The list just goes on and on. How many brothers and sisters, and Sherry Martell, so many people that I loved and appreciated, admired, and looked up to and respected have passed on the past 10 or so years. And it taught me one thing. You only get one chance in life. One chance. And I thought about it. I thought about quitting. I thought about just saying, maybe, you know, my time is here, my time is done. But I made a promise. I made a promise to the people. I made a promise to every wrestling fan out there that comes to the shows, they're watching on television, watching on the internet. I made a promise to you to be the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion. And it's not a question of if I win the championship or how. The question is when. I made a promise. I keep my promises. Matt Connor, you think a simple steel chair shot to the head is going to take me out? Are you kidding me? Are you crazy? I survived WCW. I've survived Bischoff. I survived Russo. I've survived a lot of politics. I have survived the best in this business. So Matt Connor, the day I quit will be a cold day in hell. And come August 20th, I can't touch you now, but come August 20th, I will beat the living hell out of you and take the NWA Mountain State Television Championship where it belongs, to the people. Because I represent them. I represent you. And I will not let you down. Believe that.
Hush! 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 Hey, Maestro. Stro. Can you hear me? I hope you can, because it's been 2 long years since the last time we met. Hush! Hush! That's 2 years too long. But I'm hearing that you're too worried about chasing gold and doctors' excuses and headaches. For the headache, take some Midol. As for chasing the gold, you're worried about chasing the gold after the doctors have told you it's okay to come back to the ring. You're worried about chasing gold. What you need to be worried about is what I'm going to do to you.
Some very intense words from both men before this morning's opening contest. It's going to be Stro, the Maestro of Wrestling, taking on the Pitbull Bob Brown. This is the Outlaw Rockstar Stephen Hensley bringing you the great action of NWA Mountain State Wrestling this morning. 11 to 12, Fox 59, and round the clock on our website, NWA Mountain State Wrestling, and our YouTube channel, NWA Mountain State Wrest. We've got a great one to start things off. You see him out on the outside, Stro, the Maestro of Wrestling, who has had a lot of trouble over the last couple weeks with one Reaper, Mr. Matt Connard, who I have said time and time again is the future of our business. But the Stro's been gunning for his TV title, and the Pitbull cautioned him. Stro, you're looking at gold, but this morning you don't want to look past the Pitbull. He's a very dangerous man. You're in a weakened position after the beating Matt Connard gave you last week.
Ladies and gentlemen, your opening match. One fall with a 15-minute time limit. First of all, Pitbull Bob Brown. And his opponent, formerly from California, now residing in West Virginia, the Maestro. One fall, 10-minute time limit.
And the referee admonishing Bob Brown before the contest, telling him he needs to leave the chain on the outside. And the Stro watching on very cautiously, trying to get the fans behind him this morning. And he definitely is in a position where he probably feels he needs their support now more than ever. You know, the doctors have cautioned him about competing in the ring. It's kind of a gray area. He went to one physician, they said no, so he went to another one, they said yes. But second opinions from doctors, when you're in a sport like professional wrestling, sometimes it's best to err on caution and go with the first one that tells you you might want to wait a while. But the Stro, he's very fired up, and he's been gunning for that TV title that Matt Connard holds, and he has a personal grudge, and I believe it's clouding his judgment. You see one of the fans on the outside averting their eyes from Bob Brown's bodybuilder-like physique. Bob Brown having words with him. Was that a her? I'm not really sure. At any rate, Bob Brown taking his time getting in the ring. Bob Brown's trying to psych himself up for this one. The Maestro may be in a weakened state, and Bob Brown loves taking advantage of guys in a weakened state. But while Bob Brown is not known for really being concerned with whether or not he wins a match, while he's primarily been viewed as a guy who likes to hurt people at any cost, even at the risk of disqualification or countouts, he's a guy who knows what money means at the end of the day. He might act crazy and bark around like a dog, but he'd like to get the W this morning, especially going to our big pay-per-view a bit, Mountaineer Jamboree. And a collar and elbow tie-up. Stro comes out on top with an arm bar, and he pulls Bob Brown over in an arm drag from a standing position. And now he's working away at Bob Brown with a wrist lock. The Stro being very assertive with the mat wrestling game this morning. And you know, that's probably a great strategy for him. The Stro, of course, he's a bigger guy than a lot of people give him credit for. You see a lot of wrestlers out there that are big, you kind of ignore their musculature build. And while the Stro doesn't look like a bodybuilder, he's very strong. He uses a lot of high-impact moves in his arsenal, a lot of power moves. But those moves leave you open to making a mistake. And the Stro is in a position right now, after the beatings that he's absorbed from Matt Connard over the last couple weeks, he can't afford to make a mistake. If he makes a mistake against a guy like Bob Brown, well then Bob Brown, he's going to eat him for lunch. Just like a delicious boneless wing from Applebee's. And the Stro forces Bob back down to the mat, and he's torquing on that arm again with that wrist lock, and he lays into him with an elbow drop down to the canvas. He's going right back to that wrist lock. And Bob's arm has got to be feeling it at this point. Stro forcing Bob's arms down to that canvas, hoping to get an early pinfall here. Or maybe not. I mean, I can't really think that the Stro expects to pin Bob this early in the contest. Even if it is a great mat wrestling hold, Bob Brown's a strong guy and he can absorb a lot of punishment. I don't really think he was trying to go for a pinfall there, as much as make Bob exert the energy to get his shoulder up off the canvas while it's already in that painful state. Maestro once again with an arm drag, comes out on top, holds on to Bob's hand, and he's kicking away at that deltoid muscle, and you can see the look of pain on Bob Brown's face. But once again, the Maestro, he's not really mixing it up the way that he sometimes might. He's playing a complete mat wrestling game at this point. That's his strategy. You see him holding on to that arm bar there. He's got great leg scissors across its boot. And Bob Brown trying to jockey for positioning, thankfully for him, gets his feet on the ropes. And now Bob Brown rolling to the outside of the ring. The referee telling Bob he has 10 seconds. Bob knows that. At least I think he knows that. Man's a little bit crazy, so you're never quite sure where he's coming from. But he knows beyond a shadow of a doubt his opening strategy was not working well for him in this one. And what he needs to do right now is go to the outside of the ring, take a break, and get back in the ring on his own terms. Bob Brown got distracted by the fans there, and the Maestro came right over and took advantage of that one. Bob's got to get his head back in this one if he wants to come out on top. I don't care how crazy you act, Bob. You've got to be focused if you want to win. Make no mistake about it, Bob Brown wants to win. But the Maestro has got in his head. Bob knew he was hurt. He thought he was going to have an easier time this morning. But the Maestro, he's taking it right to Bob. And Bob Brown being very trepidatious as he comes into the ropes. Stro looking on at him. And Bob gets into the ring. And Stro tried to go right back after him, but Bob threw the wrist. But Stro grabs a hold of the arm and just jerks it down across the top rope. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. And you can see the position Bob Brown's in as the Stro lands a clubbing forearm blow across his back, backs him into the corner, punches away on the solar plexus, again and again and again, measures him, chop across the chest, and somebody get Bob Brown some applesauce because here come the chops. Kielbasa time. And one more to boot. And one more. Good Lord Almighty. Like Bob or don't like. Whoa, whoa. The Maestro, I don't think Bob Brown laid a finger on him. He's falling down, but nobody hit him. That's not a good sign of where he's at. And Bob, he's not going to back off. He knows what's at stake for him. This is his chance to win. The Maestro, he thought he was in a weakened condition. The Maestro is showing no signs of it early on, playing very close to the best with that mat wrestling game. But you saw as soon as he went high impact in that corner with chops of fire, something happened. He lost everything he had going for him. His bearings went out the door, and Bob Brown has been on top of him like a hungry dog, like a beast that smells blood, and the Maestro is in a lot of trouble. You see him trying to fight out. Bob Brown raking the eyes, pop to the jaw. This is something that normally wouldn't stop the Stro. I hate the man, but this isn't what it would normally take to stop him. But he's stopped himself. The doctor said, no, don't go out there, don't compete, you need time to rest. He didn't want to listen. He felt like he was focused, but he was really making a mistake, and you can see it this morning. Yeah, he's still chopping away at Bob, but he can't capitalize on anything, and Bob Brown right back on top of him. And the Stro going to the outside, and this is a big mistake. You can tell he's not thinking clearly here. In the ring, that's the Maestro's world. On the outside of the ring, that's where madmen like Bob Brown, that's where they make their names. And Stro wisely going back in the ring, and he tries to punch at Bob Brown, but there's absolutely nobody around him. He doesn't know what's going on. He's fighting out of instinct right now, and that would be great if he was with what was going on in the contest, but he doesn't. And Bob Brown's just having his way, cinches in a suplex, gets Stro over, and Stro, you can just see him, he's staring off. Johnny Blast is yelling at him. I'm not sure that the Stro knows where he's at. Bob Brown goes for a pinfall attempt. Maestro kicked out at 2. But I gotta think if Bob would have applied more pressure to the shoulder, soaked the leg, this one might be over right now. And you can see the look of concern on Johnny Blast's face. He knows his friend shouldn't be out there. The Maestro going over to the referee. Holding on, trying to pick himself back up. He's in a world of trouble right now. This isn't the position he wants to be in. You can see the ref back off. Pitbull right back in. Hits him with a shot to the side of the head. And now just putting his throat across the windpipe of the Maestro. And you can see the Maestro's face. It's already turned red. But despite the incredible offense by Bob Brown, you got to think he wasn't in this one to begin with. Real close to the vest at the beginning, but he can't go like he normally does. He's on rubber legs right now. And Stroh holding on to the top rope, and I got to think that is the only thing holding him up at this point. And Bob Brown just hammering away at the Stroh. And the Stroh leaning on the bottom rope there. Holding on to the middle ropes for dear life. But he looks like he could fall over if a strong gust of wind hit him right now, let alone Bob Brown. And you see Bob Brown position that chain in the corner. And Johnny Blast throwing in the towel. He's trying to throw this one out for the Stroh. He's worried about his friend. But Bob Brown grabs the towel and he just threw it to the outside of the ring. And the referee still checking on the Maestro. Doesn't know Johnny Blast threw in the towel, concerned for his friend. And Bob Brown has the Stroh by the air. But Stroh turns it around, sends Bob Brown into the chain. And he's locked in a chokehold, falls back, body scissors. Is Bob Brown gonna give? Is he gonna give? The Stroh locks in a chicken wing crossface. He's got the body scissors. That's gonna be it. Bob Brown says that's enough. And the Stroh, the Maestro of wrestling, has pulled off an incredible victory this morning. I won't say an upset victory because the Stroh's at the top of the chain. I say a surprise victory because of the state of mind the Maestro was in, because of the state of his physical well-being. That is an awe-inspiring win by the man. And Johnny Blast, look at him. He's very protective of the Maestro. He's still rolling him out of the ring before the Pitbull can gain sense of what just happened. He knows the Stroh was in no shape to be out here this morning. And he got very, very lucky walking away with not only a victory, but with his health as intact as it is. But how intact is that? So many beatings by the Reaper. I know he has a blood grudge against the man. But you gotta wonder when you're thinking clearly.
Straightforward pricing at Lewis Nissan in Beckley. That means the best price on a great selection of new Nissans. Increase your savings with 0% APR and the highest guaranteed value for your trade. Brand new 2012 Nissan Altimas just arrived. Get yours today for only $18,245. CVT transmission, loaded and more, only at Lewis Nissan where the sale never ends. Call 1-800-TO-BECKLEY.
For the past 16 years, Mark Hunt has helped hundreds of people who were injured in a car wreck. Mark Hunt and Associates help people put their lives back together after a car wreck. We get cars repaired, medical bills and lost wages paid, and get you the compensation deserved. Call Mark Hunt and Associates. We have the experience to help you when you can't help yourself. Mark Hunt and Associates, 304-344-1800, or on the web at www.markahunt.com.
Kramer Security and Investigations, an industry leader, is currently hiring for the position of security officer throughout southern West Virginia. At Kramer, quality begins and ends with our security officers. We are proud to offer a variety of shifts, competitive wages, professional training, and a great opportunity. For information, please call 304-256-0300. That's 256-0300, or apply in person at our Market Street Beckley or Walker Street Princeton locations. Kramer Security and Investigations, securing your future today. An equal opportunity employer.
Saturday, August the 6th, Marmet, West Virginia. No reason to stay home and watch it on TV when you can come see all the superstars of Mountain State Wrestling live.
Saturday, August 13th, Hinton, West Virginia. Ooh la la, Maestro, the Maestro of Wrestling, is coming to your town once again. So let's go down, let's party down, let's get funky, let's get buck wild. Hinton, West Virginia. Ooh la la.
Saturday, August the 20th. Mountain State Wrestling comes to the Summersville Community Center with the biggest show of the year, Mountain Jamboree 2011. Mountain State Wrestling, all the biggest stars, all the biggest matches, be there. It's the biggest show of the year.
You know, there's been a lot of stuff going on here recently. The NWA Elite, Team West Virginia. There's only one person I care about, and that's myself. The one-man wrecking crew doesn't need no alliance to get the job done. And tonight, Lance Erickson, I'm going to get the job done once and for all. You see, you come around here, think you're a big shot because you just came back. I don't even know who the hell you are. And tonight, I'm going to make you a name in Mountain State Wrestling because you're going one-on-one with the one-man wrecking crew. I put people out of this business for a reason, and tonight, you're going to be next, whether you like it or not, because Bulldozer crushes all. Bulldozer, you disrespectful punk. Let me tell you something. You come out here hollering about, you don't know who Lance Erickson is? Let me tell you something, son. At one point, I was West Virginia wrestling. You don't know who I am? Let me tell you something. You have no clue the things I'm going to do to you. The last time you stepped in the ring with me, I beat you like a dog in Summersville. Is that what you want? Is that what you want? You have no clue what you started. Get ready. Beat me if you can. Survive if I let you.
And Lance Erickson coming out this morning with some very heated words right back at the Bulldozer and a catchphrase that's a little all too familiar. I just can't put my finger on it. Nonetheless, he makes his way out here this morning, glad handing all the fans of Mountain State Wrestling on his way to the ring to try to return to West Virginia by making his name by starting at the top of the list. He's picked a fight with the biggest dog in the yard, the Bulldozer.
Fans, your next match of the evening is one fall with a 10-minute time limit. First of all, from Detroit, Michigan, Bulldozer. And his opponent is known as the Canadian Lion, returning to NWA Mountain State Wrestling, Lance Erickson.
All right, and the Bulldozer running after Erickson right after the introductions. Erickson reverses an Irish whip, though, catches the big man with a back elbow and a running clothesline, and the King of West Virginia has retreated to the outside of the ring very early in this contest. And you can see the frustration showing on the face of the King. He picks up a wrench and threatens to hurl it in the ring at Lance Erickson. And the Bulldozer's usually calm, usually confident demeanor shaken to its core with the opening offense displayed by the Canadian Lion. Lance Erickson backing off into the opposite corner, trying to get the Dozer back in the ring. Not taking his eyes off him for a second, though. Erickson's right in the center of the ring to meet the Bulldozer. As soon as he comes through those ring ropes, rallying the fans behind him. And the Bulldozer looking on at Lance Erickson with a lot of anger in his eyes. Lance Erickson, he may have been on the scene in West Virginia before, but one thing he can't do is take for granted what the Bulldozer has been able to accomplish in his absence. Lance Erickson's very confident. He's very strong. He's very skilled, and he has some history. And he's showing a lot right now, a lot of intensity going right after the big man. But he cannot take the Bulldozer for granted, because just that quick, a reversal of the Irish whip, followed by a running clothesline in that corner by one of the strongest men I've ever seen in our business. Short arm clothesline to boot. And Lance Erickson's fortunes can be turned around, and his career can be cut very, very short. Bulldozer talked about making Lance Erickson a name. If Lance Erickson isn't careful this morning, the Bulldozer will make Lance Erickson a name as his latest victim. But Lance Erickson, he's looking to make a name in an entirely different manner. Lance Erickson wants to beat the King. He wants at the end of the contest all the fans of West Virginia to yell, "The King is dead! Long live the Canadian Lion." But to do that, he's got to take down the Bulldozer. And flurry of offense aside, it's going to take a lot to put down the Bulldozer, because he's the man who for a long time now has been crushing everything in his path. And Erickson floats over from a side headlock into a hammerlock, but the King of West Virginia, a lot of experience, he knows go straight to the ropes. I'm tall, I'm strong, I'm big. I got enough power, I can pull myself from this submission maneuver before it does any real damage. And Lance Erickson looking away from the King as he circles him up again. He looked away for a second because right now his confidence, it's a little bit shaken. He's doing a lot of things right, but the Bulldozer, he has an answer for it all. Side headlock, Bulldozer pushes him off the ropes, but Lance Erickson pushes the Bulldozer over. Very surprising. And the Bulldozer, very frustrated, accuses Lance Erickson of pulling his mask. Erickson telling the referee he did not pull the mask. Of course, how much can you trust a Canadian? And the Bulldozer and Erickson circling one another. Collar and elbow tie. Erickson back to his side headlock. Bulldozer reaching out for the ropes, checking his position in the ring. And Bulldozer holding on firm with a waist lock, but Erickson still in control with that side headlock. Brought Dozer down to his knee for a moment, but Bulldozer sends Erickson off the ropes. Lays down flat, but Erickson catches him one more time with a shoulder block, knocking the King over. And the Bulldozer right now, very cautiously standing in the corner of the ring while he continues to accuse Erickson of pulling the mask, stalling for some time to recuperate and to develop a new strategy for taking apart the Canadian Lion. Lance Erickson absorbing the appreciation of the fans, shaking his wrist, trying to get fired up as he goes back into another collar and elbow tie-up. But the Bulldozer coming out with an armbar, side headlock of his own with those big, strong arms of his. But Erickson sends the Dozer off the ropes, and he hits Erickson, knocks him down with a shoulder block now. And the Bulldozer telling Erickson, you want to play that power game? I can play that one too. And now Lance Erickson very cautiously taking his time to get up to his feet. And these two men are seemingly very equally matched this morning. Lance Erickson relying on the fans to give him the edge. Bulldozer, though, watching Lance Erickson while he's pandering to the fans, looking for an opportunity. Collar and elbow tie-up. Side headlock by Erickson. Goes to an armbar, holding onto the wrist lock. Bulldozer jockeying into position. Comes out with an armbar of his own. Now it looks like he's looking for a chance to torque it. Holding onto the wrist lock there, and you can see a lot of pressure applied to that wrist. But Erickson fires back at the Dozer. Drops down. Modified arm drag, has a head scissors on the big man, and the Bulldozer gets his feet on the rope. This is a bit of a surprise for me. I did not expect to see a mostly mat wrestling based match, which is this has been for the most part this morning. We've seen a couple shoulder blocks, but not a lot of high impact maneuvers. Both men appear to have come into this one with an unusual strategy to take the other one apart with mat wrestling maneuvers. The only guess I have for that one is to try to destroy the strength of the other man before he has an opportunity to utilize it, while minimizing your risk for taking punishment from a missed high-risk maneuver. Bulldozer attempts a hip toss there. Erickson, though, shot to the stomach, comes out with a hip toss on the King of West Virginia. Arm drag on the Bulldozer. Erickson holds on to the arm bar. And the Bulldozer once again this morning in trouble. The Canadian Lion showing a lot of heart out there. The Canadian Lion utilizing a Greco-Roman knuckle lock in combination with that armbar there. Still turning the wrist of the Bulldozer. Also doing a lot of damage to the knuckles. And that'll prevent the Bulldozer from being able to grip as well as he could during this contest, possibly limiting his ability to fully utilize his body and that arm for reversals in what has become a mat wrestling contest between two big men. Erickson still holding on to the Greco-Roman knuckle lock, but Bulldozer makes his way back up to his feet anyway and forces Erickson into the corner. Erickson relinquishes the Greco-Roman knuckle lock. Thankfully for the Bulldozer, who hits Erickson with a gigantic headbutt and a shot to the jaw. Another vicious right hand to the jaw, and Erickson's trying to shake off the effects. But that is a very big, very mean, very strong man hitting you. A rake to the back for good measures. A clubbing forearm blow. And you can see the look of the pain on the face of Erickson, but Erickson's still fighting out. But the Bulldozer right there to meet him. And the Bulldozer just clubbing away with some wicked forearms in the corner. And the referee trying to get between the two men. Erickson, of course, tied up in the ropes there. And that's a break from an offensive stance. But the Bulldozer still going in after him. And the Bulldozer just kicking away at the midsection. And Erickson, for the first time in a while, is in a lot of trouble as the Bulldozer running body splash in the corner flattens Erickson like a pancake, picks him up, and slams him center in the middle of the ring. Bulldozer bounds off the ropes, leg drop. Bulldozer, lateral press. Erickson, though, kicks out before even a one. And the Bulldozer slowing things down, going for a rear chin lock on Lance Erickson. And you can almost see the Bulldozer telling Lance Erickson to give it up. But Lance Erickson saying, not right now, rallying the fans behind him. You can see him pumping his fist, trying to get back to a vertical base. And Erickson hits him square in the stomach with an elbow to the gut. Runs off the ropes, but Bulldozer ends the offense right there with a very stiff clothesline. Falls on top of Erickson, goes to hook the leg, but went for a press down on the shoulders, but Erickson still kicking out, and the Bulldozer showing frustration, choking Erickson across the throat in front of the ref with blatant disregard for the rules. And backs off and comes off the ropes with a very heavy, high-impact, dangerous knee drop onto Lance Erickson. And Erickson looks to be showing the effects of the offense from the Bulldozer. You can see him blowing out his lips right now. He's trying to suck in as much wind as he can, but every time he blows out, he's starting to fade. He's in a trouble situation right now. If he doesn't turn this one around, the Bulldozer's going to walk away with the big W this morning. And the fans trying to get behind Lance Erickson, cheering for the Canadian Lion. The Canadian Lion trying to feed off of him, but the Bulldozer still grounding him and lifting his own body up off the ground to apply even more force to that headlock that he has applied on Erickson, almost a sleeper hold. Bulldozer trying to hold on to the headlock, but Erickson making its way to his feet. Bulldozer hits him with a knee to the forehead. Erickson backed into the corner. Forearm shot by Bulldozer. Bulldozer sends him to the opposite corner. Ducks the clothesline, but Erickson waits. Super kick! Super kick on the big man, and he covers. The Bulldozer, though, kicks out at 2. The Canadian Lion getting very lucky there. He wants to make full use of this opportunity right now. He cannot back off of the King of West Virginia. Forearm shot by Erickson. Another stiff forearm shot to the King of West Virginia. Off the ropes, and a clothesline knocks the Bulldozer down. Erickson taking down the straps now. It's go time. It's now or never. He's trying to get the King back up. He's got him up to a vertical base. He backs him into the corner. He sends him to the opposite corner. Catches him. Spine buster. Cover 1, 2. And Bob Brown out of nowhere. Bob Brown out of nowhere. Bob Brown out of nowhere. Breaking up the pinfall attempt. And Lance Erickson's moment to shine has faded away in a heartbeat. He's going to walk away with a victory this morning by disqualification. That's not the same as a pinfall. Pitbull Bob Brown choking the life away. Ricky Shane out from the back. Ricky Shane on top of the Bulldozer. Bob Brown retreating to the outside of the ring. And Ricky Shane out here to protect Lance Erickson from what could have been a very, very vicious duel onslaught by the Bulldozer and Pitbull Bob Brown. And Lance Erickson, very, very lucky Ricky Shane was here this morning to come out. Otherwise, he might not be looking at his next return to the Mountain State. He may have been looking at a very, very long stay in the hospital.
Referee Rick Orton has declared Lance Erickson winner by disqualification. So your winner, Lance Erickson.
Bulldozer, Bob Brown, you want to come out here and jump on a man that I have mad respect for? Well, since you stuck your nose where it don't belong, Bob Brown, I stuck mine. Now, I'm in Mullins, West Virginia. Lance Erickson is in Mullins, West Virginia, and you two chumps are in Mullins, West Virginia too. So I say right here in Mullins, West Virginia, in front of all these great people, Lance Erickson working Bulldozer and Bob Brown. You want to see that?
Hey, I want to thank you, Ricky Shane.
For the past 16 years, Mark Hunt has helped hundreds of people who were injured in a car wreck. Mark Hunt and Associates help people put their lives back together after a car wreck. We get cars repaired, medical bills and lost wages paid, and get you the compensation deserved. Call Mark Hunt and Associates. We have the experience to help you when you can't help yourself. Mark Hunt and Associates, 304-344-1800, or on the web at www.markahunt.com.
Kramer Security and Investigations, an industry leader, is currently hiring for the position of security officer throughout southern West Virginia. At Kramer, quality begins and ends with our security officers. We are proud to offer a variety of shifts, competitive wages, professional training, and a great opportunity. For information, please call 304-256-0300. That's 256-0300, or apply in person at our Market Street Beckley or Walker Street Princeton locations. Kramer Security and Investigations, securing your future today. An equal opportunity employer.
Straightforward pricing at Lewis Suzuki in Beckley. That means our best price on a great selection of new Suzukis. Increase your savings with 0% APR and the guaranteed highest value for your trade-in. Brand new 2011 Suzuki Kisashis have just arrived. Get yours today for only $15,763. That includes Smart Pass, keyless entry, and much more. Only at Lewis Suzuki, where the sale never ends. Call 1-800-TO-BECKLEY.
I was up in Pittsburgh, up in NWA East, watching on the internet, watching on television about the NWA Mountain State. And then I thought, what better way for the NWA East champion, the best in the NWA East, to come down to NWA Mountain State and defend the title. NWA Mountain State, get ready.
As the Maestro. I've often referred to him as a stepping stone. but to become a stepping stone, you have to be good enough to make it worth somebody's time to want to beat you. And the Strobe, make no mistake about it, he's worth your time to beat in this business.
Strobe using a little psychological warfare there. And I believe he is getting successfully in the head of Chris Taylor.
Chris Taylor and the Maestro continue to circle each other.
But what, just throwing popcorn in a ring, how awful is that?
Chris Taylor has one hell of a big mouth. Fortunately, the Maestro has one hell of a big fist. And for once, I'd like to see him knock somebody's teeth out with it.
Collar and elbow tap, we finally get some action here. And Maestro decided to apply Chris Taylor now.
Chris Taylor being brought down to one knee. The Maestro just cinching in that side headlock. Those massive arms of his, so much strength. You see Chris Taylor, though, firing away on the midsection, sends Strobe off the ropes. Strobe bounced back off. And Chris Taylor, I don't know why he was thinking, trying to mount shoulder blocks with the Maestro. A much bigger, much obviously stronger man in this one. And the Strobe sends straight down. And Chris Taylor right now is off his game.
I'll tell you what, I can't wait to see that NWA East title around the waist of Strobe.
God, I would love to see that. But to do that, he does have to beat Chris Taylor, and that is a hell of a task. The Mint is responsible for a lot of support and influence in the career of Chris Taylor. And Strobe has some guys out here to watch his back tonight. But these guys, they don't have his back the same way that Team Mega and Ryan Mitchell have Chris Taylor. So these guys are out here for the moment. The Mint's out there behind Chris Taylor night in, night out. And that's a hell of a difference maker. And the Strobe needs to not discount how important that difference maker is.
Absolutely. Anytime you have an individual in your corner, that can shift the entire match in your favor, even if they're the underdog.
Chris Taylor going for a rear waistlock. Strobe, though, so big and so strong, just pulling the hands apart. And Chris Taylor fighting to maintain control, but the Strobe reverses into a rear waistlock of his own. Brings him down, amateur wrestling style to the mat. Rides on top of him, slaps him around, wakes him up, and lets him know he is in the Mountain State, and the Mountain State came to fight.
Absolutely. The fans in Hinton are really vocal about the relationship of Team Mega.
And you see Chris Taylor challenging Strobe to a test of strength. Strobe immediately reverses that grappling line with the hands and just bends the hands of Chris Taylor. Chris Taylor is in so much pain here. The Strobe is just having his way with him at the moment.
Definitely a shearing pain.
And Strobe, sportsmanlike, breaks up that Roman knuckle lock. Chris Taylor not in a better position for it. Strobe continues to fire away, showing some good killer instinct tonight with so much on the line. Those knife edge chops. He just slaps the hell out of his chest.
Busting open those capillaries up in the pectoral region.
The last time I heard smacks out loud, stopping for the gift rush. But back in the ring, Chris Taylor comes out of that corner and clips the left leg of the Maestro. And the Maestro is in a world of trouble right now. And Chris Taylor taunting the fans from the Maestro. And he's playing mind games as well as taking apart that left leg of the Strobe. The fans solidly behind the Strobe trying to get him back into this one. Chris Taylor doing his best to just break that leg of the Strobe to force an injury or a submission here. But the Strobe holding on. He's not going to give up that easily.
Now look at Team Mega.
Team Mega with the assist on the outside.
At least one half of Team Mega and Ryan Mitchell helping along. But it's, I mean, the whole deal has come in, so I guess
that's the advantage of being flanked by men like Ashton Amherst, Ryan Mitchell, James Ross. They're always going to have your back, and they'll always do anything to help you win because it's all about the best of the group. And Strobe Stro has seen what kind of result that mentality yields. And these guys over here, Terry Ring, Chris Miles, and Carl, might be here for Stro's best interest, but they're not willing to do the same things that the Mint is willing to do to attain a victory.
Absolutely not. And now, Chris Taylor in complete control. You know, some have said that he is the top talent on the East Coast.
Well, he certainly looks like a dominant athlete right now, but the Stro kicking away at his head there, breaking that leg lock, and Chris Taylor right back on top of things, though, just kicks away at that left leg again. And he has consistently worked on that leg, and the Stro is going to be in trouble on this one. Chris Taylor has come in with a sound strategy, but that frying pan skill, like hand across the chest of Chris Taylor once, twice. Chris Taylor trying to kill off that momentum, though, and just fires away at the head of the Stro, and the Stro's in trouble on this one. It's Chris Taylor sends him head first into that turnbuckle, and kicks away at that leg, and Stro's got caught on the ropes there, and Chris Taylor just spinning it across there. And he's just torturing the Mountain State Wrestling Champion right now.
What is Ryan Mitchell attempting to do with that chair?
And the East Champion, Chris Taylor, with that all-the-way neck breaker in the ring, hooks the leg, Stro kicks out. But Chris Taylor right now has mounted some seriously effective momentum and off the rope. Fantastic missile drop kick, hits its mark. Hooks leg two, Stro grabs a hold of the rope.
Keep that rolling and keeps Chris Taylor having to continue to work in this match.
The East Champion is really showing what makes him so good and so celebrated on the East Coast. But Stro showing what makes him so effective in the Mountain State, hits him with a back elbow, off the rope, and that was a battering ram of a flying shoulder block there, and Chris Taylor has been rocked. Stro flips the cover, and barely a kick out by Chris Taylor.
I tell you what, Stro came down almost full force.
Full force, God Almighty, he is such a big man to fly like that. But Chris Taylor, right back to the offense. Perhaps Chris Taylor's laid too much into the Stro in the early goings of this. As momentum so quickly shifted back to Chris Taylor's favor. But the Stro isn't down for the count yet. He's right there with him on the ropes. Chris Taylor following the Stro. And the Stro firing away at Chris Taylor. Chris Taylor walking over those ropes there. And the Stro there to greet him with a headbutt. And they both fall.
I tell you what, that took a lot out of both men.
And Rickery Dickory Orton starting the 10 count here. We're up to a 3. Stro stirring to life. Uses the ropes to help himself get up. He's had so much taken out of himself already here. Chris Taylor struggling to his feet. And just levels the Stro. The massive leg shot to the back of the head and the upper body. And continues to work away on that left leg.
Chris Taylor now continuing to work on the same leg that he did early on in the match.
It's a nice grapevine on the leg there. Firmly torquing away at it, but the Stro is turning that leg lock into a figure 4. Yes! And God Almighty! God Almighty! This is what I'm talking about when I talk about the history, the pedigree of the... No! Ryan Mitchell broke that one up there. All the Stro's experience. And it's wiped away in a moment by the influence and the bond of the Mint. This is just terrible. This is what I'm talking about. The Mint is willing to do what it takes. Carl, Terry Ring, Chris Miles, they may be just a little bit too nice to be the men we need out here to have the Stro's back.
Now, Chris Taylor putting the Stro down there.
And Chris Taylor trying to absorb what's left of the life of the Maestro, but the Maestro will not be denied. He's turning himself over here. He's on a side position, trying to get up to a kneeling position, trying to make it back to his feet. The referee raises his arm once, twice. No, come on, Stro.
No,
yes!
No, he's thank goodness
drawing off the support of the fans, drawing off the reserves he has left in the tank, drawing on everything he can to make it back to his feet. Stiff shots to the abdomen. Chris Taylor sends him off the ropes. Misses him back to the elbow. Chris Taylor reverses that. Misses with a big clothesline. Straight off the ropes. Clothesline. Both men are down.
Come on, Strong, get up. Strong.
And once again, Rickery Dickory Orton going to that 10 count. Come on, Show. Get your ass up.
Come on, Strong. Yes, the one that...
Come on. Yes.
Yes, Strong.
That's right. The stepping stone going to town on Chris Taylor.
Abdominal stretch.
Tails him into a labyrinth pinfall attempt. Chris Taylor walks away from that. Schoolboy, 2. Barely kick out there. And the Maestro staying on top of him here. Looks like a small package. How does he keep kicking out?
I am flabbergasted, Steve, about
the
that.
is just taking him to task here, lifts him up. Chris Taylor reverses and just throws the straw down to the mat by his hair. Chris Taylor telling the straw to get back up.
He's measuring him for it. He's measuring him for a Taylor color.
And so, groggy as can be, turns right into He reverses it into that crossface submission.
New NWA East.
It songs in for you, Chris Taylor. The Maestro's going to make you sing some pain right now. No! Damn it, no! And the Maestro has this damn big one. And this is terrible. This is absolutely terrible. And the man in the ring just going to down a Paul and Chris Miles. Ring. Holding his in for the moment. On top of James Ross. Forearm shot. But the sky high Sasquatch instruction. Drop face rocket to a DDT. Terry Ring is down. The Maestro's back up to his feet. This is carnage and mayhem. And the man retreats to the outside.
Team Mountain State.
Team Mountain State stands tall in the ring at the moment.
August 6th.
I got this. Saturday, August the 6th, Marmot, West Virginia, NWA Mountain State returns. Tell them about it.
When'd you start talking? August 6th, Marmot, we're coming back with a better class of champion, the NWA Elite.
Saturday, August 13th, the Elite come back to Hinton, West Virginia. Lucky you.
Summersville, West Virginia, August 20th, the NWA Elite are coming to town, and look at it. They're bringing all the gold.
Cameraman, get a good shot of it. 10 pounds of leather and gold, synonymous with greatness. This is NWA Mountain State Wrestling on Fox 59.
NWA Mountain State is paid in part by Lewis Automotive in Beckley and LewisAutomotive.com, giving you the best deals on Suzuki, Nissan, and pre-owned cars. Kramer Security and Investigations, now hiring in all of southern West Virginia at kramersecurity.net. Mark A. Hunt and Associates, practicing law since 1994 and online at markahunt.com. The West Virginia Tobacco Quit Line. Get help to quit smoking now at westvirginiaquitline.com. NWA Mountain State is a production of Cucumber & Company. Cucumber & Company, video, web, and beyond.